If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.
It's playoff time. I don't hate Christmas music at this moment because it's the time Christmas music should be played. It's windy as hell and starting to rain outside here in Colorado. We're getting.
I had shorts on today. That's how warm
it was. Nice out today. As I was driving home, my truck was wobbling, and there's some rain that's starting to fall. It's supposed to get a little bit more like winter, but you said it a few weeks ago. God just kind of smiles when the Broncos are winning in Colorado.
Nicer.
It's been very. I'm probably gonna wear shorts tomorrow because it's gonna be 69. I get it, Nico. That's no. That's it. It was never gonna be 67. That's the crazy thing. So before we get into all the other business stuff, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So as a teacher, when we were growing up, the number that everybody was afraid to say was 69.
Yes.
It is not that way now. I can say 69, and it's like nobody knows.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
And I'm like, okay. We'll
they've stopped giving out the number 67 at Chick-fil-A. Order number 67. They because it's backlashes how much has happened.
Yeah, it's wild. I can tell you right now, I'm ready to have a break from the students, and I know for a fact we had a honesty session today at the start of class. I said, how many of you raise your hand if you are sick of being at school? And guess what? I raised my hand too. It's like, see? So why
Jimmy was the only one. Oh, how bad that be?
Well,
you get the email from HR and be like, Jimmy, we had a parent write in about you this week.
Oh, I'm sure I get talked about quite a bit. And that's the thing. I know some of them like me, some of them don't. But I said today is like, we're all in the same boat. So why are you making my life difficult so I start bitching at you? It's just, let's make everybody's life easy. If you succeed, guess what we're doing? Ready? I called the victory formation. All we have to do is get the exchange from the center. And you're fumbling the exchange from the center right now. So let's sit down. We're playing bingo tomorrow. That's we're getting out of it. We're kneeling. This is episode 260 of Far End of the Bench podcast. We are going to be hammering home a lot of things. We talked about it going into what our expectations were for Cena's last match. We have the Bengals and Broncos to talk about for the opposite reasons, just like we did last weekend. Nico went perfect this week. I went 3-1. So again, it's not a terrible week for the pick'em, but he is still got a pretty decent.
I have, like I said, you've been killing it. We've both been killing it. I just have literally picked, I think, one more game better than you, like for 8 of the last 10 weeks or whatever.
It's normally like a 1 game separation per week. I don't think there's been like maybe one where
there's 1 week where we're 1-3 and like one of us are 3-1. I think that's the worst.
I hope to God. I know that we don't gamble. I don't do it because I don't like losing money, and you don't do it because of your job. But I hope somebody has been listening to us, because looking at our records, I was like, if
you parlay all of our weeks together, it's been good. It's been very good.
It wouldn't be terrible. And that's why everybody should follow us at FEOTB Pod and subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Say I cracked the door open a little bit. I left it open for some things to happen is all I'm going to say, based upon my picks this week, based upon what you sent me. So, and we'll see, though. You'll have to stay tuned for that.
We'll get into that and make sure everybody is subscribed, checking out the new videos. We we had a bunch of new people show up, and we love every bit of it. This is the fun time because we're going to have college playoffs to talk about. We're going to have NFL playoffs to talk about soon enough. NBA on Christmas Day. I know that's still your favorite thing.
I will be in attendance back in Denver again against the Minnesota Timberwolves. I love Christmas Day basketball. And like I said, Broncos play on Christmas Day too, but it's a
Broncos
game.
do play.
It doesn't mean anything. So
it is. If you win the Chiefs game, you only have to win one of your last 2, which are your.
Well, I mean, if we win this game, and then we could.
If you win this game, then it has absolutely no bearing on it whatsoever, because the Chargers would be too far out of it.
Yeah, and we could lock up the 1 seed even if the Ravens beat the Patriots too. So if 2 things go right this week, we don't have anything to play for the last 2 weeks, which would be very nice.
Yeah, that's why we said the playoff calculator is out, because I put my calculator away. My calculator's been out for a long time.
It had a little bit of life.
I know.
For that, like,
we had to have it out
span,
for a while because we were losing so often. I was like, okay, well, how many games do we have to win in a row? How many games do we have to win in a row? And then we were there. We were like, oh, cool. We're gonna do this. Oh, we suck. We're just not good. It's terrible. Before we do all of that, I want to give this its proper. It was. I know that
I texted you. We lost the hero.
We had very different initial reactions.
Oh, hold on.
I'll explain. I think we should each have a chance to explain our experience, because you were a little bit behind where I was. I was in a different setting than I was expecting to be, and I think that there was different emotions and different viewpoints that kind of come from all of it. So go ahead.
No matter what would happen, we lost a hero. Okay,
man, it was good. I cried so much before that match.
I was with coworkers, so I couldn't really cry.
I was by myself in my truck. I just admitted it to all of the bench warmers. But man,
everything just flew through, and there's like look, we could be talking about the ending and talking about like what the hell happened and all this or anything, and look, whether you like it or not, whether he tapped out, this man did everything. He did everything. There's not one extra thing that you could have asked for him to do. Unfortunately, the world of wrestling, and I knew this before. I didn't think you tap out, but I knew this before. You usually go out on your sword.
We both said that he was more than likely going to put somebody over on the way out, which is what everybody does. It's because it's something he never did. Like he didn't do it to Nexus. He didn't do it to to a lot of guys. He was still, but that was because he was still there. He was still the top star. We don't have to get into that right now, but I think I've discovered the reason why everybody hated the Super Cena era, and it's actually funny that you're mad at the wrong person. You're not mad at me. You're mad at you're mad at the guy that deserves to have hatred for all this. Okay, if they should have been good enough to knock him off of that spot, and then he would have put him over, but they never were. I mean, look, it was so beautifully done, and the card was great. I loved Oba versus Cody. I thought that was great. I wish that it would have had an ending, but I love Drew. It's funny because there's tendencies in the WWE too. When you have a lower, because NXT is still the development brand, when you have a lower champion going up against the big champion, you can't have the low champion beat the big champion outright. There has to be shenanigans. So you're like, okay, when's Drew McIntyre going to claim more? But it's also Oba is this big, massive force. That you're like, how do you let him lose? Like that. Yeah. So it was the crutch that you kind of had to do because you didn't want to back yourself into the corner. And Cody proved that he can put over. Cody can put people over. Oh yeah, well, Oba, like I said, Oba's a star. Oba is former Alabama football player. Oh yeah, for Nick Saban. When I went to Mania, WrestleMania 40, I went to, or 41, excuse me, this past year in Vegas, I went to NXT Stand and Deliver. And that match between him, Javon Evans, and Trick Williams for the main, I sat there and my poor mother, was dragged along to all this. And she was like, that was really entertaining. These dudes threw themselves everywhere. It was like, I didn't need it. Like commentary. These guys were just incredible athletes. I was like, yeah, this is wrestling. It's not just slapping hands and what did that Cena prank call say? Pillow fights, street fights. Like it's exciting stuff. And so I thought the Oba fight was great. I thought the Sol Ruka versus Bailey Sol Ruka is she's a star. Ooh, she's a stud. Yeah, that is awesome. Her finisher is great. That finisher is going to kill her back, though. That thing is going to kill her. How long are you going to be able to do this? When are you going to switch to a submission finish? Exactly. But that won't last very long. Because you're very flexible, so you could switch to a cool submission finish. Exactly. The tag team match was great. I love Dragon Lee and AJ Styles, and I thought that was cool how they all did that. And then everything leading up, like the hype videos, the packages, the tributes, the 5-minute video with the whole roster doing the salute, the you can't see me, or the entrance, or doing something like you had everything from everybody. It was all that, and then on top of that, everyone that sat or was sitting ringside, right? It was funny while I was looking at the ringside people. We haven't seen Kevin Owens in 9 months. Like it's since his injury at Elimination Chamber. Seeing him there, incredible. One of the best one of the most underrated rivalries of the Cena era, right? And that was the back end of his
Is prime.
That was when he reestablished the United States Championship as a super mid card title with the Open Challenge. Like it's Sami Zayn, same
Exactly.
situation.
Sami Zayn
They had
too,
the awesome United States Championship match on SmackDown, and that's also when SmackDown was the lower brand. He had come back, and he was now trying to put this thing back on the map, and I was like, man, I can't miss SmackDown. I was down at a Black Hawk Casino on a Friday night, and I was walking around the casinos, and one of them was on. I was like, okay, I'm going to set it this slot machine because I need to see how this ends.
How this ends on that screen. Yeah, it was that was awesome seeing him. Awesome seeing Sami Zayn. You had Elias, which that was the biggest.
That was random.
I saw it. I was like, wait a second. Walk with Elias? What are we doing here? So I thought that was interesting. Obviously, RVD.
I think that
we'll talk about top 5 matches here in a second, but RVD being there was cool too.
The Elias thing I think proves how much Cena was actually helping behind the scenes.
Oh yeah,
because that's what I think. The people that like to bash on him and the people that say he can't wrestle and he was bad for the WWE don't take a look at the entirety. I mean, I will come out and admit it. I was upset about the finish. I was mad that he tapped out. I knew that he was going to lose, but I was like, that was the one thing you could have saved for me was that he told me never give up. Yeah. And then he did give up. So I was upset about that. But the next day, the first thing that comes up on my For You page is he met with a 3-time cancer survivor 3 hours before his match and made his day and he does that. That's just who he is, and that's what the character is
in the history of the entire company.
It reminded me of, and my mom did a good job of reminding me of this too. It's like she put it the best way that I had heard it explained up until that point. Gunther was taking it so much more seriously at that moment of the match because Cena got his Hulk up moment. Cena broke out of it, and then it was when he broke out of it and Gunther just pulled him back and started elbowing him in the face. You kind of saw, I was like, man, I want to have Peacemaker season 3 coming out soon. I've said that this is it, and I've given everything that I can possibly give, and who knows if the next time he puts me in the sleeper hold, maybe it is something that's, it's all of that. It's all of those things. It's like bringing the humanity to the person that you never thought was going to have it.
I did not see the tap out as a giving up. This is how I saw it. As someone who watched, like I said, I'm going through now and watching everything from this past year because the whole entire retirement tour, every match. I just finished the Rumble. I'm going to do Elimination Chamber next, and then get to going through everything else. I sat there and I watched him tap out, and I did not see him give up. I saw him relinquish the company.
He's moving on.
I saw it as a passing of the torch, I've done everything. I did everything I could. There's nothing more I can do. I can't win this battle, this final battle. I can't win this battle. It's time for me to move on and let this company move on. And that's why I wasn't as mad as you were initially. And I was sat there and I was like, you know what? This sucks, right? It's our GOAT. But at the same time, it's like you can elevate so many different things and so many like I'm more pissed off about the Travis Scott being there at WrestleMania 40 than I am him tapping out. Like I'm more pissed about him ruining that moment about his 17. I'm more than I am him just saying letting go. Is just letting go. It's
watching it's being in a situation where like your elderly father is at the end of his line and you're like, well, you can stay alive on the machines, but it's very clear that that's painful. And it's too much.
It's watching Tony Stark. Yeah. Spoiler alert. Tony Stark die. I know this happened 8 years ago.
It's been a while now.
It's been a while. I was watching Tony Stark die at Endgame. You're like,
why does it have to be him? I'll tell you, I have not had that visceral of a reaction to something that I've watched on a screen since I saw the Batman vs Superman movie when Superman dies at the end, because I was into the character. I knew all of the backstory, but I'd never been into the death of Superman story, so I didn't know that was a possibility. And it's a jarring thing. It's like when you see, when you have your dad or somebody that's close to you, somebody that you've always seen as the figure in front of you, go into a vulnerable situation. You're like, I don't like this. I don't want to remember you as, I want to remember you as the loudmouth dude that told Brock Lesnar he needed a brain to have a concussion.
By the way, did that in a Nuggets shirt and a Nuggets hat.
He did. That was some sick Nuggets gear.
I know that was some sick old Nuggets gear, by the way.
That was when they were the Thuggets.
That's my PlayStation gamer picture. And then also my chess.com picture, because I don't want to put my face on it. So I used the John Cena. So if you see a big Neek and a John Cena wearing Nuggets gear, that's me, okay? On chess.com. But I like I said, it was a tough scene, and it sucked for multiple things. But like, as someone that, like I said, watched the entire last year, I didn't see that as the retirement match. It was the retirement run, right? He had the moments, and for everyone that's blaming Triple H and all that,
it wasn't Triple H's call.
No, it was John. You're lying to yourself. You didn't think John.
I didn't believe it until it was Gunther's reaction that gives it away.
Yeah,
because Gunther didn't know either. And
no.
Brilliant, John. You bring back elements of the Montreal screw job, so now Triple H gets as much heat as possible.
Oh gosh,
everybody's going to hate whoever he's trying to put over. Gunther needed security to get out of the arena, and I'm pretty sure he needed security to get into Monday Night Raw.
His promo where he says he tapped out like a bitch, I was like, I hate this guy. I want this guy to rot. I want this guy.
Where's my American hero to knock down this Austrian?
And he's not coming back. That's the worst thing. He's like, I need something to fight him. And that's why it's also important you did that, is because you could also create. We don't have a big bad.
No,
we don't have a huge. It was Roman.
He is that guy now.
He is that guy. You put a rocket to him and shoot him up to the sky and let him win everything. That's what they did with Brock after he beat the streak. That's what you have to do with Gunther. And to backtrack one more time here, for those that are blaming Triple H and blaming what this run was in this last year and how it was there things that could have been changed? Absolutely. There was things that could have been changed, right? Absolutely. There was things that could have been better. Absolutely. This could have been things done differently. But there were things that we never would have thought we would have seen. No pun intended. We saw 17 happen.
Yeah.
That happened. We saw the Grand Slam championship happen. It happened. We saw the greatest heel turn since Hulk Hogan happen. The man who we never thought in a million years would turn heel. Never in a million years. We said there's no way. They can't. No way. No shot. Never happened.
They didn't do it against The Undertaker. It won't
happen. It won't happen. And it happened. And it happened. We had matches against Roman or against Randy Orton, CM Punk, AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, Dominic Mysterio, right? Gunther, right?
And I love the Dominic Mysterio because I at that point I had forgotten about his whole bit that he had with Eddie Guerrero, and I know that Mysterio is Ray's son, but and he learned a lot from Ray too. He had a few really good matches with Ray, but that's the craziest thing is like when you texted me, it's like don't forget the top 5 matches. I had so many. And I didn't pick any from his U.S. title run. I didn't pick any from his basic Thugonomics era.
There was a couple. I had to throw in one that was the same because as yours because I couldn't leave my favorite rival or my second favorite rivalry of all time off of it. That's the only reason why. But like I said, this run had everything you could want out of it. There was things that could have been booked better. Absolutely, there were things.
Well, he reminded you too. Paul Heyman said it, and when Paul Heyman tells you this, you know that it's the truth. As long as he can hold a microphone to his face, he is still the GOAT.
There's no one that touches.
He can't wrestle as good as he used to, but the promos, I went back and watched that pre-WrestleMania one where he tears Maurice and The Miz down. Like that, I listened to the audio of that on my drive into work this morning because I was in a weird mood.
Like seriously, sit here and look at his entire body of work the last 25 years, 22 years, whatever it is, right? Look at his whole body work. What else could he have done? There, outside of the last match being slightly different, right? Still loses. Probably was going to lose no matter what. Slightly different. What else could he have done?
We haven't mentioned this in the retirement run talk that we've been doing, but he also has my favorite WWE Studios movie of all time. I love his Marine movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't watch the ones with the guys after him, but his I was in. I was hooked, and that was everything. I mean, and he didn't use this to get to Hollywood. This was his dream.
Hollywood wasn't a thing.
That was proven.
Yeah.
It was proven that this is all he wanted to do, and he wanted to leave this in as good a spot as possible, and he knew exactly how to do it, because people forget he was around in the territory days. He was at the very tail end of the territories. He was at the school in Los Angeles before he got moved to the developmental at that time, which was OVW out in Kentucky. And he was the class with Batista, Brock Lesnar, Shelton Benjamin, Randy Orton. And obviously those guys did what they did. Like, that was I know that they have the golden age with Bruno Sammartino, but that has to be like, what do you call it? The platinum age? I feel like that was one of the greatest ages that we've seen in WWE for a long time.
It's the ruthless aggression era.
The ruthless aggression era is platinum, baby.
Like you and I didn't grow up watching we watch old highlights of the Attitude Era, right? We watch old highlights of all that stuff. It wasn't live. We lived through the Cena and Rock promo. We lived through Cena and Orton. We lived.
I vividly remember being told to leave the room because remember after Edge beat Cena for the title, they were doing the live sex celebration. My parents were like, "You
can't watch this."
No. I was like, "Oh, come on!"
That was one of those things where you're sitting there being like, "What the hell is he watching?" It's professional wrestling, baby. And that was
wrestling.
I love Michael Cole. He's the best, and the line hit perfectly. Tonight, professional wrestling beats sports entertainment. And look, I'll be honest with you, sports entertainment may have died with him. I don't know. Like we see, you have to be an elite wrestler nowadays. You have to have an elite on the mic. There isn't really like guys like LA Knight, right? Elite on the mic hasn't been really skyrocketed, right? Guys like that are rare commodity nowadays. And like I said, I sat here and I told you I contemplated going. I dead ass was almost saying.
I was texting you when the store was open, because I was kind of like, well, maybe if he doesn't go to the show, I could tell him that the shop is open.
If I drove down, I was going. I'll tell you that much right now. I was in Philly, and I was 2.5, 3 hours away. Okay, we played at 1:00, ended at 4:00. Funny enough, there was a hockey game that night, so we had to leave, like get out of our locker room pretty fast. So that helped my timing. If I left at 4:30, I would have got there at 7:30. The problem I was running into is that there was a huge snowstorm, and I didn't have a rental car, so it would. And plus, the tickets, they're cheaper than other stupid events I've been to. Just I'm not going to tell numbers, but cheaper than other things I've done. Okay, and I was just like sitting there, and I was like, you know what? I if I didn't go to Mania, if I wasn't there at WrestleMania 40, I would have probably done it. And I just felt like I got my conclusion of what I saw, John. Because I sent you the video. I was there 2013, Hell in a Cell, Miami. Like with him and Punk and Heyman attached to the top of the cage. I look back at that video and I was like, damn. I was like, it's weird. 12 years later, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, this dude still makes me just feel something. And that's all you ever want from a wrestler. If a wrestler doesn't make you feel something, they'll go nowhere in this business. They'll go nowhere. That's the one thing that wrestlers have to do. They have to be good on the mic. They have to be good in the ring. More than anything, they have to make you feel something, or who cares?
They tell stories, and it's a soap opera. It is cheesy, like when your mom turns on Channel 4 during the daytime and watches Days of Our Lives. It's overacting and all of that, but there are lessons to be learned in the stories. And that was the thing that I loved most about Cena. I like the rapper. That was when I was in my 8 Mile phase. I loved Eminem, so I liked the lyrics. But I stayed a Cena fan because of the hustle, loyalty, respect, the rise above hate. It was just, not that I'm a negative person, but sometimes, things happen and you look at it in a down way, but it's like never give up, hustle, loyalty, respect. You're always working harder than somebody that you just work as hard as you possibly can, because who knows what's going to show up on the other side. And that was the virtues and the things. Like
there was not a harder worker in the business. Like no, he like I said, night and day for 15 years. I would say
he learned Mandarin for the WWE.
Yeah, like
and speaks it fluently now.
For those that memed this, he announced the killing of Osama bin Laden at fucking at Extreme Rules 2010 or whatever it was. Like
we have
he was
compromised to the fullest extent.
Like that was a real thing that this man was in charge of. Like
and he was the Marine, so it made sense.
Man, like I said,
that was the dog tag era, like the salute to service.
He was
knowing that he always took the extra mile for people that he didn't have to, because he could have been big time. He could have, like we said, he was in the same class as Randy Orton, and he was making just as much money and having just as much fun on the road. But it was.
I think that's a good segue because, like I said, Randy and him, they were meant for each other, and there's a couple guys that were just meant to dance forever, and like this whole run, and like I said, not just this year, but the last 20 years, it just, like I said, it just hits you being like, I have so many years worth of just being able to watch all this stuff. It just won't stop hitting.
I'm only going back and watching his old stuff from 2002 on, honestly.
25, there was some good matches here. So
I can't wait to get to the stuff, because I was in and then I was out, and I was obviously invested during WrestleMania, but I wasn't as invested as you during the final run, because I'm somebody that
there was some gold.
I'm somebody that avoids conflict, and when I know something is going to end, to me, I'm like, I should distance myself so that it doesn't hurt as bad. It still nearly killed me. It still nearly brought me to my knees.
All I'm saying is the stuff with CM Punk, where CM Punk came out in Dr. Thugonomics, Cody Rhodes SummerSlam match was better.
I did watch the SummerSlam.
Was better than the Mania match. Way better. Yeah. So good. The matches, dare I say, with Logan Paul were great, right? Sorry. Dom Mysterio ending was awesome.
I was back in. I can't stay away, but it is one of those things. Like, I know that about myself. If I know somebody, that's the tough part. I have to force myself to try and be around somebody in their final days, because I struggle. Like, I like the story. That's the way my brain works. And I know I wasn't going to get the ending to the story that I wanted. So it was tough for me, but this was fun.
Like I said, we haven't done top 5 since the summer, and we thought we'd just throw it back today because it was worth it. It was worth it. And like I said, we have only one thing the same, and I think all 10 of or all 9 of our matches that we picked are all something that if you've never been into wrestling, you have to watch. Like number 1 for me, it's my favorite match of all time. Like there's nothing that tops this in terms of moment, in terms of everything around it. John Cena versus CM Punk, Money in the Bank, 2011. I don't need to set the scene too much, but let's just say CM Punk walked out with the WWE title that night, out of the company, quote unquote, out of the company. I know, but quote unquote walked out of the company.
He wore the Yankees pinstripes. It
was one of the most electric.
The promos
in Chicago.
Yep.
The FUs, the booing Cena out, like you thought he got booed bad during the heel run. Watch that, and then you'll realize, damn. That was crazy. So that was my number 1. Like I said, my favorite match all time. I in terms of all time, like there's nothing that I could.
The second one you put right, I think, is the only one that rivals the hostility.
And like I said, the hostility I love more than anything. John Cena versus Rob Van Dam, ECW One Night Stand, 2006. For those that don't know what the hell this is, John Cena walks in ECW, which is another company, and faced their top guy Rob Van Dam, and they basically were about to kill this man. The "if Cena wins, we riot" sign.
And by the way, Hammerstein Ballroom is where, Nico?
It's in
Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia. Oh, yeah.
When they say they're going to riot, they mean it.
They very well mean it. And everything, like I said, I'm not going to spoil the match if you want to go back and watch these. And with the winner and everything, it has a shocking twist at the end, which is another great rivalry, which I don't even have a match from him on this list because they've had so many good matches. Like this has everything. The booing between, like I said, I almost loved it more when John Cena was the face and he got booed the shit out of him because it was just more exciting.
Because you were the proper WWE fan and you didn't want those ECW mongrels to have the WWE championship.
Exactly.
That was too much.
Exactly. So that's a great one. Number 3, this is a personal favorite. And this is one that I think is like, it's seen as a weird match because it was during COVID.
Is this the
right?
Firefly?
Firefly Funhouse match where John Cena faced Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 36.
You need to go back and rewatch this.
Unreal. Unreal. All the cinematography, all the everything. It was beautiful. Like I said, Bray Wyatt, and it was such a beautiful soul and such an incredible wrestler, incredible storytelling.
It was the perfect character to go up against Cena too.
It was perfect storytelling. Like I said, we talk about wrestling matches being storytelling. This is the definition of a wrestling match: storytelling. Storytelling everything, and like I said, it had John Cena come out in NWO gear. It had John Cena in the old trunks from when he fought the prototype. Like it had everything. Dr. Thug had everything. It was incredible. One of the most fun matches. Especially during COVID, where we didn't know what the hell was going on. Yeah. I watched WrestleMania that year, being like, "This is the only thing that's live." This, and like I understand it wasn't live, but like this is the only thing that's coming out in real time, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. That was such a fun match.
Throughout that feud, there were some, like, when he impersonates one of the Wyatt family members and attacks all of them during one of their promos. The Cena versus Bray Wyatt on the mic might be better than Cena versus Bray Wyatt in the ring ever, but they did have some really cool matches, and he's got the whole world, and sometimes Bray Wyatt makes sense. Sometimes
so good. And this segues into number 4, because this happened this year. John Cena versus AJ Styles, Crown Jewel 2025. For those that didn't watch this match, this had no promos, no hype. John Cena sent a tweet, "Let's make it happen," and they made it happen.
I love the intro for this one.
This was the love letter to wrestling.
Yes.
This was the definition. They had John Cena doing the spear from Edge, had the Batista bomb, it had the RKO, it had the Styles Clash, it had the Sister Abigail that John Cena did, and the whole stadium lit up with the fireflies. That was all, like, it was a finisher fest. I don't care. Okay, this is what wrestling is. It's a love letter.
Sometimes it's okay.
Sometimes okay. And then AJ Styles, on the other hand, who's the king of TNA. Right, the king of all that, did a bunch of moves from guys who wrestle in TNA, the coquina clutch, right? All those different, like, so many moves that you're just like, wow, I didn't know this was. Oh, that's from this guy. Oh, that's from this guy. Oh, that's from this guy.
If you get down the rabbit hole of old John Cena, you'll love old AJ Styles from TNA. Incredible. When they had the 6-sided ring. That he has some matches with Kurt Angle in TNA. And they also said it was harder than a 4-sided ring. They're like, they had to reinforce it with more wood, so it actually doesn't bump as well. But he has some matches with Kurt Angle that, like, I would be. AJ Styles was a perfect opponent for the guy that was built for WWE. It was WWE versus TNA, and Cena sold it as such.
It was Superman versus Batman. Basically, yes. Batman was AJ Styles, was the guy who had to fight for everything, unheard of. Some guys hate him, blah blah blah, and fell into Superman was this god, right? And Cena versus AJ Styles was that, and they had great matches in the come up. But I really liked the Crown Jewel match this year, which I thought was so much fun. Probably, I would say easily my favorite match outside the Dom one from this, and SummerSlam against Rhodes from this last year. And at 5, you have it as well. And there's Cena versus Orton, bragging rights 09. I wanted to try to find something different, but I sat there and I was like, I can't have this not on there. I literally enjoyed it too much. After the I Quit match, after the Last Man Standing match, the Hell in a Cell match, after the I Quit match, and then you have the Last Man Standing match at Bragging Rights. Incredible. All right, honorable mention. I'll make this quick because I know we 30 minutes of wrestling talk. I'm sorry, but it's our go. Okay, so cry me a river. I couldn't put this on there because it wasn't his only match, but one of my favorite moments was him coming out at 30 when he was gone for injury for 4 months, when everyone thought he was out for a year. Yeah. And he comes in at 30 and the song hits and he's going like this and he has the look on his face.
By the way, Triple H, like
it's one of the most exciting sequences of all time. And by the way, my favorite shirt, the Hustle, Loyalty, Respect with the huge dog on the back.
Yeah.
The best shirt, the best.
The orange and black arrow was something different. I have the match that match the Royal Rumble led to when he wrestled Triple H at WrestleMania. That'll be on my list. But my number one, I got to see initially just the match that they ended up having on Monday Night Raw afterwards, because my parents didn't buy the pay-per-views. We got the WWE Network during you were over for the first one. That was when Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank. That was the first pay-per-view premium live event of WWE that I've seen live. but I've gone back since we've had the WWE Network, and that Cena versus HBK match.
So good.
That was too, because what we said about Cena and the way that he ended Gunther, that was Shawn Michaels forever. Like Shawn Michaels with the "I'm sorry, I love you" to Ric Flair. Like he could have a 5-star match with a broomstick. That was the story about him.
HBK was another great storyteller, and just having both them be in the main event, just incredible. Like I said, so underrated.
They had a 60-minute match at WrestleMania, and they followed it up with a 60-minute match on Monday Night Raw the next night. They were literally the final 5 segments of a 3-hour Raw show.
Crazy.
Moving down, I have when he beats. I did I put the one that he beat?
You put the one he lost. He lost.
Okay, yeah, I did like the one that he lost because that was the end of the Super Cena. That was after he had beaten the next
once in a lifetime.
Once in a lifetime. Yeah. We all knew it was going to happen twice, right?
Yeah, we all did.
The Rock doesn't ever finish a movie at 1. He goes 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought we were going to get 3 this year.
They made too much money. Can't do it.
But I like the one that he lost because it leads into one of my favorite feuds that he has with Lesnar when he first comes back. And that was Edge coming back and telling him, like, this is not the John Cena that I wrestled. The guy that threw me in the Long Island Sound wasn't this guy. You got to go back to that guy and be able to beat him. And the comeback story, I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. It seemed like Rocky to me. So
like the parallels between that moment, those two facing off in WrestleMania 28. And then WrestleMania 40, when they stared at each other, I got goosebumps. I'm still getting goosebumps. Seeing that parallel between those two. And like I said, I understand Rock's era was not John Cena's era, but it was the two of the biggest, like 2 Mount Rushmore guys. 2 Mount Rushmore guys in the history of WWE that faced off 15 years later after their WrestleMania match, and they looked at each other dead in the eye at WrestleMania 40, and you could not hear a pin drop, or you couldn't hear yourself think. Sorry, excuse me. You could not hear yourself think at that WrestleMania 40 when those two stared down that music hit. It was incredible.
And Cena was the one that made Brock get back into his WWE form because I don't got to walk around with my promos on my wrist.
The promos on the wrist. So good.
And that was also, by the way, the first time we got the Dr. Thugonomics brought back was during that feud. The Triple H match, I went back recently and saw, you ain't nothing until you beat me. Like, you may have this, but you ain't nothing until you beat me. Well, and then Cena made him tap out.
Because Triple H was like the face of the company. He he would won everything.
Do you remember what the entrance was?
Super Triple H. Was that the one with all of them lined up?
That was the one with all of the Cenas.
I couldn't remember if that was the one with the lineup or if it was the one with the car through the glass. Was that HBK, that one?
I think that one was HBK.
That was another one. Okay, so those two are 2 of my favorites. Or it was like, the real John Cena show up and he comes out wearing it, and everyone's just sitting there, 500 kids all going like this with their hands going back and forth as he runs down the ramp. Incredible.
The bragging rights, the I Quit matches. Cena has a million I Quit matches that you could have picked from. And I picked 2 of them. So Orton and Batista. It's the bragging rights one. It's the kendo stick when he's handcuffed to the ring post and he's just getting smashed and all of that. And then he somehow turns it back. I don't know how he does it. He just has this willingness, this gear to go extra. And I love Batista. But when Cena won his first title, Batista was my dad's favorite. So we had our favorite guys win major titles on the same night. So it was always a rivalry in the house. And when Batista turned into his baby heel and had to go into the I Quit match at Over the Limit in 2010, I was like, oh, I love this. I love this. I'm finally on the right side of history.
There was 3 guys that were missing from that retirement match, in my opinion. It was Randy. Obviously, he's in Riyadh promoting Mr. Beastland, so that sucked. Edge, who's obviously works for the sister company, AW, and Batista, obviously, who's probably doing Guardians of the Galaxy 8 at this point, and just make or is shooting Avengers Doomsday probably.
He's much older than the other ones. He was in the same class, but he got into it a little bit later in his life. My honorable mention, I told you, I couldn't put this one because there was way too many people involved, but I had the initial elimination chamber when Edge ended up cashing in on him afterwards. That was like, that was the first time I was like, man, Superman is human. Superman's not going to win all the time. I don't know what to do with this.
It sucks. Before we finish the segment, sorry if you've been with us for 40 minutes, and we've definitely lost you at this point. Favorite shirt and favorite entrance? Go.
Favorite entrance is the Thugonomics. I loved when that initial song hit. That was my initial football song. My dad would always put it on last in the car when we would roll up to practice. My favorite shirt, Rise Above Hate. That was one of my favorite eras, and I liked. It was fun to see Cena in kind of like a bad guy and like the love triangle. With Zack Ryder and Eve Torres. That was another one. I like that Eve was back. Shout out Colorado connection. She's from Colorado.
Crazy that whole time. Crazy that all those stories were just nuts too. Yeah, I mean, I said mine is the Hustler to Respect with the dog on the back of the cage. That's easily my favorite shirt. I love I'm pretty sure the car one was coming out to Dr. Thugonomics, which was also, like I said, incredible. So that's probably what my top two. I also, like I said, I love the CM Punk versus John Cena entrance where he just gets booed to all heck and he can't salute because everyone is literally trying to throw things at him. They're trying to kill him. Yeah, that's the stuff that just makes him a champion.
I love it. I know that this was a long segment, but it was worth it. And he's also the thumbnail. So if you didn't think you were going to talk about John Cena, you weren't paying attention initially. And maybe you're one of my students. And in that case, enjoy your winter break. And we don't have any assignments because I don't want to do any grading afterwards. Let's talk about what's coming up this week. Because this weekend we have the first round of the college football playoff. We kind of gave our initial looks at things. We're gonna go a little bit more in depth on what the matchups are, but we have our first round. First game that we're gonna start with is in the top left of the bracket. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you're subscribed as well. But Alabama and Oklahoma. This is a rematch from, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, week 11 of the season, where Oklahoma goes into Alabama, upsets them after giving up double the amount of yardage. Should have not been that close, but Oklahoma plays really good defense. What do we always say in the playoffs? Defense is what will travel and will carry you through these momentum swings. It is an 8-9 matchup, so that means Alabama is going to Norman and going to play.
That's a huge factor. It's a huge factor.
Are we going to see the Mateer of old? Because that's been the biggest issue about this Oklahoma team is that their offense, ever since John Mateer has gone out with injury, I mean, we've said it many times. Brent Venables barely even recognizes that he has an offense on his team. He thinks he has special teams. He thinks he has a defense. That's all the only players that he has in Oklahoma football. He has no idea what the offense is doing. Can John Mateer put the Superman cape back on, or are we going to see Ty Simpson, who ended as a Heisman finalist, is the Alabama Crimson Tide going to move on and play the Indiana Hoosiers, which are waiting at the end of this?
It's so tough to beat a team twice. And I think like I said, you death taxes is Alabama winning a playoff game. That's something that happens when they obviously it's different because Saban was at the helm and as opposed to DeBoer. I mean, I really don't want to pick Alabama. I really want Oklahoma to win here because I like Mateer and I think that they have a good enough defense to maybe slow down Indiana. But I have to go Alabama. I feel like Mateer is not going to be able to put up the points and offensive output that Ryan Williams and Ty Simpson are going to be able to put out. Like I said, that's the travel. Defense travels, but another thing that travels is the Crimson Tide, who has the biggest fan base in the country, and will have a roaring presence at game. So I'll give a slight to Alabama here.
I want to give a shout out to Oklahoma because they're smart enough to know that they needed to cancel class on this day. So there's no academics going on in Oklahoma University tomorrow.
It's Thursday game?
No, it's Friday.
Sorry.
It's Friday. Tomorrow, as you're listening, we're recording a little bit early.
My bad. It's on me. I shouldn't do that.
I think I'm going to be the contrarian, and I'll say that Oklahoma is the SEC team that'll move on. That kind of gives away one of my maybe a couple of my other picks, but I do think that Oklahoma knows what they need to do, and Alabama has no running game. That's the difference between all those teams that we talked about with Alabama winning playoff games. They don't have a running back that can take over, and when their passing game gets stifled, they struggle. And Kalen DeBoer is not built for the pressure moments. If Oklahoma keeps it close the same way that they did, DeBoer is going to have a meltdown on the sidelines. Like, I can't do this. 2 years in a row. I can't not win a playoff game.
Yeah. Does a playoff loss here and not even a win in 2 years get him kicked?
that's the other thing too. He's being heavily pursued for that Michigan opening. And I know that he's still the coach of Alabama, and he's probably, I don't know if they're going to give him past this game. Yes, I do think that he is. I don't know if they fire him directly.
The problem is who are they going to hire?
I don't know who they would hire, and they've already had their signing. So they would probably go into it with him for the next season.
And next year, if for whatever reason they lose 3 games, he hasn't finished the season, maybe.
Yeah, no, I think that if he loses and doesn't have a playoff victory, it's more likely that he probably gets canned like a Billy Napier some point middle of the season. But it won't be. I mean, they're too far into the process. That's what we were talking about last week. The calendar in college football needs to change if things are going to make sense, and things don't really make sense at this moment. So DeBoer, whether he wins or loses, is probably okay for now. But that seat will be the Dr. Pepper commercial. They're bringing out the hot seat. Hot seat, hot seat, hot seat.
Yeah, they have to. Like he's already on the hot seat, and they have to kind of just stick with it and leave him there because of the because of the game and because of the playoff run. But yeah, it's the fact that he's considering it. The Michigan job makes me think that this won't last long at all.
I truly think too. If I'm Indiana, and we'll talk about what our bracket predictions after the first round are going to be once we get through all of the first round picks that we make. If it's Oklahoma, that is a much tougher matchup for Indiana than if it's Alabama, because Indiana's defense, I think, has the ability to shut down Alabama's pass game, but that Oklahoma defense is going to be something that Indiana has only seen a handful of times. Not saying that they haven't seen somebody to that level, but I know that Fernando Mendoza just won the Heisman, and congratulations to him. Oklahoma would be a much tougher matchup than Alabama.
Absolutely.
People are not going to be happy about that. We already piss off.
You're not wrong, though. What has Alabama done to them?
I'm not saying that I'm backing down from it, but I'm just saying. I've learned over the last couple of weeks.
People are going to come at you, but I want them to come at me also. Like, I'll defend you.
Plenty of people came at you. You said Tulane was going to upset Ole Miss last week.
Yeah, I still stand by that.
I know. But when you said James Madison deserved to be in the playoffs over Texas, that was when we really got things going. Now, I love it. I was like, I told a couple of my teacher colleagues, I was like, you know who's the easiest people to poke? College football fans. They are so insecure. They are looking for. I was like,
it's like
you're watching. Easy. Why are you watching? Oh, you just popped up on my For You page.
It's like taking a kid's favorite toy away from you. You know what's going to happen. I just know it's not difficult. They're not fighting.
But it is also the truth. That's the thing. If you want to call us out and say that we're stupid, go back and look at the things that we've said. I said Anthony Richardson was not going to be the quarterback for the Colts, and guess what? That happened.
It's not also like we've backed down from our takes. We don't like contradict ourselves here. We are pretty firm in how we go about things.
I am about to have a lot of free time on my hands, so if you want to get in the comments, no, I'm going to come back at you. If you just say that
I think we're almost at 5 years since you can have your personal Twitter account back.
I don't think that I'm ever allowed to have my personal Twitter account
I think we're close. I think we're close to that.
I am much better. I would rather not get it back because I'm much better about my conduct if I'm on the account for the podcast, because I'm like, I can't get this one.
Because Nico also has a very nice job that he likes a lot.
No, I know. And I now too, I also have to kind of worry about my job security if things got out of hand again. At that point, I was working in an industry that had.
Exactly. We can't say anything stupid outside saying Texas doesn't deserve to be a playoff. JMU does.
And Notre Dame. I'm sorry. I said that.
Sorry, did that come out too loud? Oh, sorry. You got a cold. It's cold season. Be careful.
No, it is getting colder outside. Let's move to the top right. Let's go to the matchup that will lead us to who is the number 2 seed. We said Ohio State is not going to be that knocked down. I said that they were going to be a 4 seed. Oh no, they're still the 2 seed in this college football playoff. They are still getting plenty of respect, and the Big Ten has the best litigators in the entire college football playoff committee. And I will stand behind that. And SEC fans are now going to come at us.
The ACC maybe has a conversation for that.
That is true.
Miami. That's true. Maybe 1A, 1B of people that have sway in the college football playoff committee.
I cannot believe that the Ohio State Buckeyes shit down their leg in their biggest game, and they're still the number 2 seed. But here we are. Their matchup to see who they play is between number 7 Texas A&M and number 10 Miami. We kind of talked about this last week. But this is who is going to choke game, because Texas A&M choked against Texas, and in the big moments it's not like they have history to fall back on. They've been around forever, but they've been around for mediocrity. They always are 6-6. Every now and then they have a Johnny Manziel that makes them 10-2.
Johnny
This
Manziel
year they have a
never
Marcel
got to
Reed.
Never got to a playoff game. Like he was only bowl wins. They had good players, great team. Mike Evans comes to mind, right? Von Miller, Myles Garrett, like great NFL talent outside Johnny Manziel, obviously. Sorry, I when I said great NFL talent, I had to emphasize that part. But great NFL talent, and you're just like they can never figure it out. And like I said, I'm sorry. I put these two hands up, not for the Utah Utes, okay? So I do not believe in A&M. I don't believe in A&M. Their coach is also a guy that's been named. Elko's been named throwing around the Michigan job too.
He is from Pennsylvania, so he's from Big Ten country.
So he may be out the door too. So,
but he is also he was at Texas A&M before, so he does have ties there, and he understands. I think that he is building something. I'm at a loss because Mario Cristobal should be farther along with this Miami program because we said you have an alumni, he knows he was there when Miami cut off from Tallahassee to Gainesville and made South Florida the state of Miami. And that's how you win with that program. I was like, he's been there. He's had the recruiting classes, but they fall apart at the most critical times. If you don't lose to Louisville, we don't have to have all the Notre Dame fans crying in our comments.
They could be a Final Four team last year. They could have been a team that went on a run, like as an underdog, as ACC champion.
You had the number 1 overall pick at quarterback. It wasn't like you were struggling.
Also had Frannon, who's been one of the best rookie tight ends, not named Tyler Warren and
Arroyo.
Arroyo, right? They've had so much great, or not Frannon. Sorry, you're right. Arroyo. That's who I was thinking. They've had so much great talent, just done nothing with it. I don't know. I just don't believe in A&M, and I just like the U. I guess I don't know.
No, I am. I'll sit here and again I'll go against you, but I think that Texas A&M with Elko, they've been able to do it. Like they beat the win against Notre Dame. I know that they struggled against Texas, but I think that that's the same voodoo magic that we were talking about last year when Ohio State lost to Michigan. Texas A&M may never beat Texas again. It might not happen. I'm sorry. You're going to be crying. You're going to be sad in College Station, but it may never happen. But you can beat a lot of these other teams, and Miami might fall under that category because Texas A&M did beat Notre Dame, and Miami beat Notre Dame. But I think Texas A&M beat them by more. I'm not entirely positive, but I do believe in what Mike Elko is building, and I think that he's somebody. They've had the Jimbo Fishers, and they've had the guys that have no business being head coaches in Division I college football. Elko deserves to be there. That is why Michigan is pursuing him as heavily as they are. They know that he's not going to be chasing around blonde co-eds on campus.
No, that's also true. No, that's very true. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, when your coach is like already considering leaving, it tells me a little bit something about the program. Is all I'm going to say.
It is there. That's for sure. It's a worry. Let's move down to what you called the most likely upset spot in the first round.
Let me make this very, very clear. If you are a college football team that is not in the Power Four, you need Tulane or JMU to win one of these games. You have to have. You need it. You need it. You need it. It's probably going to be Tulane as opposed to JMU. It has to be one of those two. Like, if you want sanity in college football and not just to have 4 conferences and who cares about everyone else, you need one of these wins. And I'm telling you, it's Tulane. I'm telling you, it is. Come at me, Ole Miss fans.
They did already play, by the way, so that was the big thing. I wasn't aware that they had already played. Tulane did lose, but
what was the score? What was the score of that game?
It was a 20-point win. I mean, Ole Miss flexed their muscles, but it was early.
It was also Lane Kiffin.
It was also Lane Kiffin. But Nico, how many times have you played a team in the regular season and we got through them pretty okay, and then in the playoffs for whatever reason, whether we had dominated them in the championship or anything, is like, what the? Why are they here? Why won't you die?
Ole Miss is surprised they're in the playoff. They backed themselves into the playoff because they just kept winning against bad teams. And they're like, oh, they only have 1 loss. Let's just throw them in.
Yeah.
Like I said, this is what, 2022?
Oh, and Ole Miss has a lot of pressure by the way, because
hey,
Trinidad Chambliss just put in his waiver for an extra year of eligibility because he's part of the Pavia, the rule about JUCOs. I don't know if we want to touch on Pavia or not. That might be too hot for this episode.
He's just a ding dong.
But if Trinidad Chambliss gets another year of eligibility, Ole Miss has to convince him somehow not to go to Baton Rouge.
Yeah, you know he is.
I'm like, if he doesn't win a playoff game, if you get upset by Tulane in the first round, Ole Miss fans are going to start crying like, please don't go.
LSU's already got 5 stars coming. They already have. They already got. I
mean, it changes fast. Look how fast James Franklin got Penn. James Franklin got Penn State's entire recruiting class to flip to Virginia Tech.
Yeah,
out of the Big Ten to the ACC, and they were like, yes, please.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Kiffin will take everything. I'm telling you right now. I'm stamping it. I am raising the flag of Tulane. I don't care. They have a coach. He's the guy going to Florida, right?
John Summerall, yes.
Yes. Summerall is a damn good coach. Okay? They will lose by 40 to Georgia, but I need them to beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss is not going. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, Georgia will beat either Ole Miss or Tulane by 30. Probably beat Tulane by more. I need Tulane here. I want parity in college football, and frankly, everyone else should. Everyone else should, because like I said, if you are like I said, I talked about this last week.
Think about Ole Miss next year without Lane Kiffin.
If you are, Ole Miss without Lane Kiffin next year on the bubble, right? They'll get in over anybody because they're Ole Miss. Think of the worlds of Indiana 3 years ago. Wasn't even a conversation. If they were the 5 seed and Alabama was the 4 seed, and we were thinking like, oh, could Indiana jump them with a better record? No, never going to happen, because Alabama's Alabama, and Indiana's Indiana. Indiana had to have one of the best hires in college football history to overcome all of that, where they had to beat Oregon on the road. They had to beat Ohio State. They had to beat all these good teams and run the Big Ten to finally get the respect they deserve. That is impossible. If you have just 4 mega conferences and no one else matters, impossible. Not going to happen. So I need Tulane. JMU, I'm telling you right now, JMU is not going to beat Oregon. Okay, that's not the one. That's not the one.
I'm excited for that Oregon Texas Tech matchup.
Exactly, JMU, and maybe we're proven wrong, and hot takes exposed. But either way, I need one of these 2 teams to win, and I am putting my chips on the table for Tulane here.
I know that Ole Miss is talented, but do they really want to? They know what they have in store for Georgia. They've played Georgia already, so
Georgia will kick the living crap out of Ole Miss.
That's what I'm saying too. Everybody else, we said Trinidad. You have to try and keep Trinidad Chambliss. Everybody else that's already kind of thinking about, hey, Coach Kiffin is. They have very nice facilities. They get everything. The NIL money is deeper at LSU. Like, all of those players might look at this and go,
oh, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow.
If we beat Tulane and then take that beating from the Bulldogs, does that hurt or help my transfer status?
Probably helps, because
I could just blame it on the fact that Kiffin left if we lose.
Yeah, exactly. You have a game.
And by the way, Ole Miss, if you were ever going to lose in the playoffs, this would be the season to do it, because you lost your head coach at the worst time.
Yeah, and like I said, you are going to get fed to the slaughter. And I don't think, like I said, I think Georgia's the 3rd best team in the country. I don't think they're better than Ohio State and Indiana.
I really like Gunnar Stockton from what I've seen.
Stockton's been really good. They will run you over. So all of you in our comments saying that well, Tulane is horrible and we beat them by 20. I'm sorry. Are you arguing with me that you're gonna have one less? You're gonna have what was the oh my God, who was the Calgary coach? He's like,
you're gonna have a worthless week in
a waste of 5 days. A waste of 7 days. That's what it'll be for Tulane or Ole Miss. Okay, so it'll be a waste of a week. So 1 week more that the guys could have been preparing for the NFL draft, or could have been preparing to leave, or could have been doing whatever with their lives. Waste of a week. That's what I'm
also gonna sit here and say, because I've said it a couple of times. Like I said, I'm replying in the comments because I got time. I'm sorry, I forgot you were psychic, and I forgot that when a team beats another team once in the season, we don't have to play any other games between those two, because that's always going to be the same, no matter what. There's never a team that loses and then wins Season series never gets split.
Those are the same people that crowned national championships based upon merit back in the 1990s and beyond. Okay, same people that want to go back to that. I don't care. Alabama beat the number 1 team back in this way. Let's just crown them national champions. That's the same people, same exact people.
All right. Now we've gone through all of the matchups because we did say we both think Oregon is going to win over JMU. I love the Dukes, and I think that they're
Great
awesome
story.
for what they've
So
done.
happy they made it.
And hey, Billy Napier, if you can't succeed here, we know it's you. Because the last 2 coaches have gotten big deals, and they've been very successful. So if you suck here, you are the reason. You are the issue.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. It's you.
Oh, by the way, we missed Taylor Swift's birthday last week on the week that the Chiefs got eliminated from the playoffs. It was so sad.
So sad. They can start preparing their wedding already.
It's nice. It's a good thing for them. I'm going to go through the rest of my bracket. So I have in the top left corner, Indiana will be taking on Oklahoma. I do have faith that Kurt Cignetti, I love the things that travel are good with Indiana. And Mendoza might make a mistake, but when he makes a mistake, he's always been able to come up with it and make up for it. He did it against Oregon. He did it against Iowa. He did it against Ohio State. That 3rd and 6 to Cooper, we talked about it last week. It was my play of the week. That was where I was really taking this team seriously. So I do think that they're going to overcome the bye stigma, and they are going to move on and play in that semifinal match.
Is Mendoza the nicest Heisman Trophy winner we've had since the
He is. By the way, did you see his big post on social media? Did you see his main social media platform? No. LinkedIn.
Oh, amazing.
I just became the Heisman Trophy winner in NCAA collegiate football.
We'll protect this man at all costs. Please don't send him to New York.
The Hoosiers are flipping chance.
For the love of God, don't let him be a Jet. This man is too
or a Raider. Or a
Raider. Please, let's send this man to New Orleans or send this man to somewhere where they won't care.
No, New Orleans is shucking for gold right now.
I know, but like maybe the Rams. Send him to LA to back up Stafford. There you go, with their draft pick capital this year and all the picks they had. Send him there. Don't let this nice, beautiful, wonderful human being of a golden child we have go to New York. Because he will get massacred for that type of speech after a game is all I'm gonna say.
They would not understand him whatsoever. He's had his brother as his roommate his entire life. Alberto has been his roommate the entire time.
I love that they recruit him saying you gotta be the backup. I love that. That Cignetti was like, well, it's like the Giannis thing where they have to have Thanasis on the team because it makes Giannis happy. It's basically Alberto is there to back up Fernando because it makes Fernando play better.
Yes. No, and they're very similar. And I, like I said, it's cool when they can take a moment. And that was the guys that stay in college football longer. And this is the best thing about what the playoff is, whether the group of 5 gets a bigger piece of the pie or not. What the playoff has done and what NIL has done is that players stick around longer and they get more opportunities because if Fernando Mendoza stayed at Cal, we never know his name. We have no idea who this kid is, but he's able to go and transfer to Indiana. He is continuing his academic career. His LinkedIn is stacked. Like he's going to be able to get hired anywhere. I went through and I was like, damn,
that man is already the biggest name in Indiana football history. Obviously,
if he lives in Bloomington for the rest of his life, he will never have to pay for another thing.
He could be the greatest car salesman in the country if he just said for Heisman Hondas. And you just sell Hondas, and everyone is seeing in Indiana will come and buy from Fernando Mendoza. It's gonna be
what John Elway was here. They're gonna have Mendoza's Steakhouse in Bloomington, Indiana.
They probably already do. Let's be honest with you. We probably already do.
I'm gonna move down to.
I'll match you. I have Indiana beating Alabama.
Indiana beating Alabama. So Indiana's into the semis for both of us. In the bottom quadrant, we both have Texas Tech taking it on Oregon. I love this matchup. And by the way, I don't know if you saw this, but Jacob Rodriguez, the linebacker for Texas Tech, had more first-place Heisman. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it coming up. Nico, you're making me get the tingles.
I love that.
Don't do that yet. But Jacob Rodriguez got more first-place Heisman votes than Julian Sand did.
Yeah, he did. He was
great. And by the way, he wasn't the best linebacker in their conference championship game, which they just dominated another top 15 opponent and held them to less than 20 points defensively. He wasn't even the best linebacker on the field in that game.
Texas Tech is proving that if you have enough money and donors, that you can make a team out of it.
but you also have to have, like we said about Indiana, you have to have a once-in-a-generation hire. Nobody else is built for the Texas Tech job than Joey McGuire.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've said it every single week that we talked about them, but he started as a high school coach and built his relationships. It would be like if Logan here in Colorado, if Dave Logan, who calls the Broncos games, so you've heard his voice probably if you watched the Super Bowl 32 highlights or the Super Bowl 50 highlights, Super Bowl 33, like if he would have ever made the move up to college football, this is what we would expect because you use the relationships that you built as a high school coach, and he's spending, he has the money to spend in the transfer portal, but their high school recruiting class is top 5 as well. And they're developing people.
I love it. Like I said, when I started first getting into college football, like it was Graham Harrell. It was Michael Crabtree. Like that was
when they had no defense. Now their defense is what's
just in
I'm just gonna tell you now. They're into my semifinal. I think it's Indiana and Texas Tech. I think it's 1 versus 4.
See, and obviously, friend of the show, Lee Vasquez, former Texas Tech Red Raider, so I know he's loving these games too and how good they've been playing. I will say one thing. Oregon's a little bit underrated.
They are
a little bit better. That's better.
They have a true chip on their shoulder. Dan Lanning is not making any chip on their shoulder. It's there.
It's scary. It's scary. I like this Texas Tech.
I think this is this. I think is this a Rose Bowl game?
I don't know.
I gotta. I'll double check and see.
I worry. If it's a Rose Bowl game, that gives Oregon a huge advantage, obviously, because it's the closivity of it all. I like Texas Tech a lot. I love Chris Rodriguez. I love the way that team plays football. I just think it's when Oregon's playing the underdog role, they love it, and I seriously think that Dante Moore can have his one shining moment and just go on a deep run to the Final Four.
It would be the Orange Bowl.
Okay,
so all the way out in Miami. That doesn't do.
Doesn't help
I was going to say if it's the Rose Bowl where I'm picturing Baker Mayfield with Oklahoma versus Georgia, and
that don't they pair the New York Six the big bowl games with the team that's closest? I thought they. Like is Texas a Cotton Bowl?
There is specific. The semifinals have already been sold to specific bowl games.
Okay, I thought it was always like
that's how it was.
It should be closer to Indiana. So like the what's the?
I mean, it would be probably the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah, like that should be that game, and Alabama always played in the Mercedes-Benz for the Sugar Bowl. That's how it should be, in my opinion. But I guess they moved away from that. I said I'm going to go Oregon here.
These games should be played on campus. I think that you can have all the way through the semifinals on campus and then save the national championship for the Rose Bowl because we should end the calendar on January 1st.
Yeah, I agree. You're not gonna get an argument out of me on that. You know that.
No, I know.
You're not gonna get an argument out of me.
I listened to Joel Klatt, and I know that he's getting a lot of heat from people like you because he went after the March Madness tournament with the amount of Cinderellas, and he tried to make the comparisons like you can't have Cinderellas. So he's been getting his heaving to the shit. But I'm like, I love the way that he sets up the calendar because if the season ends on January 1st, you still get the transfer window with the semester. Like it would actually make everything. You don't need the early signing day. You just get normal signing.
Easy. It's very easy. Like you don't even have to worry about 12 months. Okay, how does 9 months? Okay, 9 months after the season ends January 1st, September 1st. There you go. Start of the season. Like it works perfectly. It's crazy. It's like
you could still have Army Navy at the end of the season. You don't have to change it to the beginning of the season like what we were talking about last year.
Crazy. So it's crazy.
On the other side of the bracket, so you have Miami taking on Ohio State. Is Miami a sacrificial lamb?
Yeah, both of these matchups are sacrificial lambs. It's Ohio State, Georgia, semi. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Miami, cute for you. Ohio State will run through you. Like Ohio State, after that loss, they respond very well to losses. Obviously, the loss against Michigan last year.
Nico, they had gone 20 wins in a row since that Michigan loss.
Like I said, they went on a special run last year, and I think that this team is at minimum a Final Four team. Ohio State. They're that good. Okay, no offense to Miami, it's a cakewalk. Second one, Tulane. The train stops here. Okay, if somehow we get Tulane in the Final Four, I will go on the biggest parade run through Twitter you may have ever seen.
It's not Twitter, it's TikTok. You're gonna have to find our TikTok. Follow us on TikTok.
I will buy Tulane gear and I will wear it on the show and I will do a victory lap over everybody.
Do you know the most successful Tulane graduate?
I could not even.
Marshall Falk.
I love that. I love
that. He was
former Colorado football coach, not anymore, but was.
He is he was born in New Orleans, and it was right after.
Didn't he take the Tulane job?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I know Falk left to take a head coaching job somewhere. I wasn't sure if it was Tulane or not, but
I would not have hired anybody off the CU coaching staff. We can talk about that. Nico, I went and watched Cherry Creek play in the state championship. They have 7 kids with Division I offers, and none of those kids had offers from CU or CSU.
So dumb.
I'm watching a running back that runs a sub 1100 meter dash, and I'm like, he couldn't have helped out in black and gold or green and gold.
So bad.
Nothing. Really?
Horrible.
Yeah, I do. Here's my thing. I picked Texas A&M to take on Ohio State. Mike Elko is a good defensive coach. There is a difference between Mike Elko and Matt Patricia, and Marcel Reed would not be able to handle the Ohio State defense that he's going to be seeing. Like he's like it's the remember the Titans quote. They got receivers everywhere. It's like playing on Monday Night Football or something. They got DBs dropping from places I didn't even know they were playing. Do they have 13 out there?
They have 4 receivers that will be first round picks in the NFL draft. Like legit. Like Jeremiah Smith next year will be a top 5 pick. Cardell Tate will be a top 15 pick this year. They have another guy who's with Jeremiah Smith that will be a first round pick at the end of the draft next year. Like it's incredible.
And by the way, now it's you don't have anything to hold back. So we've been talking about Ohio State. Oh, they haven't played up to their potential except for a few quarters. We're going to see what their full potential looks like. And we saw what their full potential looked like in their playoff run last year. Ask Oregon how that worked out.
Yeah.
Ask them how that Rose Bowl went, because I still don't think Dylan Gabriel started the game yet. I still think he's waiting. That's how bad it was. I have Georgia and Ohio State in the semifinals because nobody's going to stand up to Gunnar Stockton and Kirby Smart in that moment. They already had a issue last year. They didn't make it as far as they wanted to, and I think that they're going to take that. And Kirby Smart, we talked about Oregon having a true chip on their shoulder. Georgia does too, because they're not even they're the SEC champion, but they have a loss on the record already. Like people see them as already wounded. Vulnerable. They're not wounded. They're just they're doing what Ohio State did. They're just doing enough to win games.
And we'll make this quick. These last 3, Indiana versus Oregon. I'm gonna go Indiana. I think Indiana is
2 times in a row.
Yeah, I know.
Is it the neutral site?
Yeah, it's a neutral site. I think Indiana. The fact that they went to Oregon and beat them in neutral site, I think is even going to make it even more impactful. So give me Indiana in the final, and I'm gonna go Georgia over Ohio State. I don't know why. I feel like I'll take that one. I'll take the bait. I think I have and Gunnar Stockton and is playing great football. I think Ohio State, like I said, I saw a team that was not very good in the championship game and in the Big Ten championship game, and a team that, like I said, struggled to face a very good defense, especially a very good pass rush with an offensive line that's banged up. So I'll take Georgia, Indiana in my final.
I'm torn because here's my thought process. I have Indiana taking on Texas Tech on one side, and I'm playing Jeremy in the toilet bowl this weekend.
That's so tough.
So here's what I'm thinking. Do I batch him out on the show and pick against both of his teams because he went to Indiana and he's an Ohio State Buckeye fan?
Don't ask out. Just know.
Or do I pick both of his teams and hope that karma spiritually comes back around? And
I would lean towards the good spiritual karma is all I'm going to say. And I know you like Indiana, so I know that's going to be.
I do like Indiana. It's Fernando Mendoza versus Jacob Rodriguez, and I'm like, who do I Who do I like more? I don't know. I
I
could
know
grow a
you-
mustache like Jacob Rodriguez. Fernando Mendoza is the best example that I've had since John Cena. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. He's such a nice guy. It's hard to pick against him, root against him. I know you're going Indiana. It's the real question is, do you go Ohio State? That's the real question because I know you hate the school. I know you hate the school. I know you hate them too.
School?
But you need all the good karma, or else we're gonna have another video next fall where you're running a suit in a mile.
6-minute mile in a suit.
That's I would be very impressed if you did that. Is all I'm gonna say.
It's gonna be less than 10.5. You already know. It's got.
I know you will do that. I what I saw, and you were like I said, you kept a good pace, and I know you can do better than that. That's all I'm gonna say. Is like you keep getting, like I said, you're in a lot better shape now than we did at the start of the show, and you are just getting better and better and better with more like how fit you are. You are going to be able to break 8, I think, if you keep coming in last place.
Especially if I keep fucking up in fantasy football, right?
keep messing up and being the last place team. You're going to be killing it every single year.
Oh, I can't do it. I'm gonna hope that
I will also say having Jeremy do it would be just hilarious. Also,
okay? You know I'm gonna be there. You know I'm gonna be there.
I love you to death, and I will make it an event. I will stream it live on Instagram Live. I will make sure everyone is watching Jeremy run in a suit. I will make sure. We did snippets and clippets of your Jimmy because I felt a little bit bad, but Jeremy, I feel no pain for. I will make him do it on live.
He did get to go to watch Indiana win the Big Ten championship too. So don't feel bad for Jeremy. And we're doing this bracket show by ourselves because one of us didn't show up for the bracket show that we tried to plan last year. So
also true.
I'm gonna hope that the karma that I'm getting for picking against my king, Jacob Rodriguez, will be enough in the fantasy playoffs. I'm going Indiana to take out Texas Tech. I would love to see Texas Tech in this position for years to come. I hope Joey McGuire goes on to have as much success as possible. And I want to thank Jacob Rodriguez's wife. I don't know her first name, but they talk about her all the time. She's an Army helicopter pilot, so she's serving in the military. So thank you for her service. I'm going to go Georgia over Ohio State because I cannot. I hate the Buckeyes. I'm not even a Michigan fan.
I think we're going to pick the same national championship. I'm going Indiana. Give me Indiana. You know what? Why not? I hate it. You know, I hate when I play these like postseason games and I'm like, this team has experience. This team's done this. This team's done that. Cinetti's great, right? But has he played as big a game as he's about to play? I don't know, man. It's a team of destiny. It's the team of destiny. And like I said, you know I love parody college football.
I am thinking Saban was Kirby Smart's kryptonite. But is Saban the best of the apprentices? Because it would be battle of former Saban coaches, and Kirby Smart kicks the shit out of everybody else that he's ever been on the staff.
Every single one.
That might include Kurt Signetti. The only thing saving Signetti from being on that list right now is that Indiana is in the Big Ten and JMU was in FCS when he was the head coach there. That's where I would love, like I said, I would love to build up as much good karma as I possibly can. I don't want to have to rely on Devon Vele and Luther Burden in the fantasy playoffs.
I can't believe you're I can't believe you're starting them.
That was my lineup last week, and here's my thing. It wasn't because I didn't put in people that I didn't have anybody on my bench that would have helped me score more. Shador killed me.
Yeah, I can't lie. Also, like I'm starting JJ McCarthy in that league because
you're welcome because I dropped him from my team that he was available.
Exactly, because Mahomes went down and I got effed. So I got lucky that McCarthy is there for me to help, or else I would have been starting Gardner Minshew. So thank you for dropping him. I appreciate that.
I'm gonna pick a guy that I think, I saw we talked about him, Marty Smith for the Ole Miss, the Lane Kiffin saga. I saw the feature he did on Gunnar Stockton. He still drives. You'll appreciate this. He drives a 1985 Chevy pickup that he's like, I hope it turns over today.
Love it.
I hope
Yeah,
it gets,
I'm almost at that point with my truck. Is all I'm gonna say. Today it clicked twice.
that's why you that's why you buy a Ford and not a
no.
Dodge.
I've had that sucker for 15 or 10 years. Okay, I've ran that thing on the ground. Okay,
That is true, and I do love David's old truck that he used to
yeah.
do donuts in the parking lot with. But I'm gonna go Gunnar Stockton over the Buckeyes. I think that is Georgia versus Indiana, and I think that it's Georgia taking it. I think Kirby Smart's going to take Cignetti.
That's the smart move. It's why you've always won these college football playoff brackets, and I don't, because I like to be cute.
It's the same reason why you win March Madness and I don't.
Yeah, it's you know more, and I like to be cute. That's all it is. I like to be cute. And
Here's
March
the thing,
Madness
though.
being cute helps.
If it's Ohio State or Indiana and Georgia, I think that's the best possible matchup that we could see. I don't think that a rematch.
Indiana Ohio State is probably the next best one. But
I don't know if a rematch is going to be that good. I think one of the two teams, either Ohio State's going to rectify everything that they did wrong in the Big Ten and absolutely demolish Fernando Mendoza on his way out, or Indiana is going to just continue to do what they did, and they have figured something out against Matt Patricia and that defense. I don't see a rematch being close.
It is very funny that we talked about last year how the first round buys were horrible for those first round teams, and we picked all 5 teams to make the Final Four. That's all I'm gonna say.
There is no Cam Scatteraboo.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, Scatteraboo was a
there is no Jeremiah Love, who just declared for the NFL draft, by the way.
As I was saying, if you were to pick one team to make the national championship, because we saw 2 come from the first weekend, who are you picking? Not win it, but make the national championship.
From the first weekend, I would say it's the winner of Oklahoma, Alabama. Possible. I'll throw in Oregon too, but I think it's the winner of Oklahoma, Alabama, or Oregon.
I would say Oregon. I think Oregon's the team that if we see a deep run from a first weekend playoff team, it's going to be them.
But my thing too is, remember the defense, and if Oklahoma figures out Alabama for 2 times in a row, that's going to put the fear of God into Indiana. Absolutely. And they struggle against good defenses.
Like I said, it's the biggest game in school history, too. So, and as opposed to Oklahoma, which had played big games, not won many, but played big games. So
they've won national championships. They've all been back in the 90s. Remember, Sam Bradford lost to Tim Tebow back in 2009.
That was with the Golden Days. I remember those very vividly.
Let's talk about some NFL. And we kind of were talking about it before. We're talking about both of our teams. I'm a Bengals fan, have been for a long time.
Not for much longer.
It is getting precarious. And I had to teach my kids what that word meant. And it means you're living on the edge, because I'm already very upset with how the organization is run. I try to be loyal. That's why I've stuck with that team. But at some point, what did we just talk about with Cena? At some point, you got to know when it is time to give up. When is there no more benefit in being loyal to something? When they're going to run another possible Hall of Fame talent out at quarterback.
And it's not even running out. He's going to be like, I can't do this anymore. Like we talk about cryptic tweets and tweets and things like and NBA players during the trade deadline posting emojis and being like, oh, maybe I'm going to here, or doing the thinking emoji, like what's going to happen. And Joe Burrow saying, I got to find my love again for the game. And I've really been struggling the last couple. That's horrible. the guy just got drafted 5 years ago. He's not like year 10.
And he's not already got an extension. Like he's already been locked up for his second contract. But I don't blame him. When you're on this team, you are always coming back from an injury. And that doesn't make football fun.
Did he not create this problem himself a little bit, though?
I get what you're saying. A
little bit.
I get what you're saying. You also, as a player, you have so much power. Like, you can say that I want my receivers, but you do also have to put a little bit of faith in the organization that they're going to find a way to protect you. Like, 100%. They invested $150 million in me. They're probably going to try and find a way to keep me on the field. No, we're just going to keep running out the same bullshit at offensive line that we've done for the last 3 seasons. I know that you've torn an ACL. I know that you popped a UCL in your wrist, and now that you've had a grade
Turf toe.
3
What's
turf toe injury, like you're always coming back from injury, but you're good, right? You're a psychopath. You want to win it for us. He has no ties to Cincinnati.
He kind of does because
he's from Athens, but he can do what he's doing for Athens from anywhere in the NFL.
That's what I'm saying. It's like that. The NFL doesn't do this as much as the NBA does it. But could we see a requested trade?
I don't know if he's going to request it, but honestly, right now,
I
think here's the craziest thing. I think that Cincinnati is trying to pick between the coach and the quarterback,
which is absolutely dumb. It's the dumbest thing possible. But
that's what have the same highest level of success.
I will say this. Well, I mean, one guy leads to the success of the other, is all I'm going to say, as opposed to what Zach Taylor has done without him. I will say this. If Cincinnati runs into a situation where they're realizing Joe Burrow could retire, they have to try to get something.
I know.
This is a tough conversation to have, but if it is a real conversation at the end of the year, maybe next year. I wouldn't say this offseason. I would say next offseason. If another bad season happens again next year, where he gets injured, miss the playoffs and everything, and he's considering retirement, you shop him. I'm dead serious. You shop him. Because look what Andrew Luck did to the Colts. And it's not Andrew Luck's fault, right? He had a worse injury history than Joe Burrow because of all the concussions. Joe Burrow's had ligament damage. Andrew Luck can't think straight, okay? And he went to Stanford, okay?
It sounds eerily similar to like I was in advanced math until I saw three nose guards in front of me.
Everyone would be available for him. There is about 5 teams that would not be interested.
Yeah.
Broncos would be interested. 100, not even a doubt. I love Bo. Been incredible. Not even hesitant. I would say the 5 would be Josh Allen, the Bills. I would say Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs. I would say
LA would swoop him right now.
Yeah, that's the thing is LA. That's a question mark. I would say
39.
Yes. Oh, the Rams.
Not the Chargers.
I thought you were talking about Chargers. The Rams. Yeah, the Rams. Yes, Rams. Yes. I would say the Chargers, Ravens, Bills, Chiefs. I can't believe I just said 5 AFC teams. Or 4 AFC. And there's that might be it. Is there one I'm missing? There's got to be one I'm missing.
I think that right now with it depends on how the Bears
playoff teams. But Phillies would do it. Bears would do it.
Maybe.
They
really like what they've seen with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson.
That's what I'm saying. All these young quarterbacks are maybes because they're young and you want to see them develop. But if you're looking to win right now, like say the Bears go out and like make an NFC championship this year for whatever reason, right? Get Joe Burrow, you can get over the hump.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's like if you think that you're that close to a championship, Joe Burrow will put you over the hump. That's why that's a maybe. Like I said, I would every other team I would be interested. Like, is there one that I'm missing? Those are the only ones. Eagles, I would do it. Eagles fans would do it in a heartbeat over Jalen Hurts. They hate Jalen Hurts.
Howie Roseman would do it too. Yeah,
Jalen Hurts won them a Super Bowl and he hates him. That's ridiculous. Tampa Bay would do it. Seattle would do it. Oakland would do it. Vegas would do it. Cowboys would do it. I got to go down the list of teams because I seriously think it's a shorter list of who would say no, who would say I'm okay.
It's probably 3, and I think that he might even.
I think it's those 4.
He might say no to Buffalo.
That's what I'm saying. Buffalo, I think because of what you have in Josh Allen. I think Buffalo. I think it's Kansas City because of what Mahomes does for your team, right? And I think it's Chargers and Ravens. I think those are the 4. And I think the Ravens are iffy because Lamar Jackson is injured constantly, but he's won MVPs. So, yeah, let me go down the list. Rams, yes. Seahawks, yes. Eagles, yes. Commanders, yes. Packers, I would say yes also. I would say Joe Burrow could make that team a favorite. Bears, yes. Jaguars, yes. Broncos, yes. Jets, hell yes. Saints, pray to God that they could beat him. Bills, no. So there's 1. Browns, yes. Chiefs, no. Titans, maybe because of the development, but they would do it if they felt like they were able to. Chargers, no. So there's 3. Cowboys, yes. Vikings, yes. Giants, yes. Buccaneers, yes. Panthers, yes. Obviously, Bengals. Dolphins, they already benched Tua, so yes. Falcons, yes. Cardinals, yes. Raiders, yes. Texans, that's a question. Because the Texans wouldn't want to blow everything up because of how good that team is. Not necessarily Stroud to Burrow because of how much they would have to give up. So that's maybe that I would say no for now. I would say they would say no because of how good the team is. So there's 4. Steelers, yes. Lions, there's the interesting one.
The Lions would. He's 4 years younger than Jared Goff.
Yeah, Lions would. With the Patriots?
No, because I think they like the youth of Drake May and what he's been able to do. I feel like they're trying to do what Burrow did in his second year.
Yeah, so there's 6. 7 Ravens, they wouldn't do it. 49ers would, Colts would. So there's 7 teams out of 29 that would say yes to a Burrow trade.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Jordan, if you thought that this was going to talk you off the ledge. I think it's over. I wouldn't say over, but I'm serious. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase can't both be on this team next year. One of them you have to get rid of and try to get good draft picks back. Or maybe you do a swap where you trade T. Higgins to – hear me out. Maybe this will tingle your senses a little bit. Send T. Higgins to the Raiders and send T. Higgins in the first to the Raiders for Max Crosby. It would be something.
That tickles the senses.
It would be something different that the organization has never done. I do.
I know it would be. That tickles the senses a little bit.
T gone over Jamar because we know that Jamar and Joe are a package deal. So sorry, T. I know that you just got that extension.
And T straight up isn't going to get traded for Crosby, but I'm just saying that.
That would be something that I'm okay with. And we would get something back on the Raiders because that's where Carson Palmer went after his first one.
Is it the Bengals giving up a first and T?
Yes.
T. And T?
Yes. It is them because they're cheap.
Okay.
They sit on their wallet and they have millions upon millions of dollars that they just decide not to do anything with. So yes, that is everything standing in the way of all the stuff that we're talking about right now is the Bengals franchise. Because they did already sign a 10-year contract for Burrow, and they don't like to get rid of their contract.
I just want to be nicknamed Nostradamus if Max Crosby becomes a Bengal, is all I'm going to say. Is I am saying this on December 17th. Yes, we record this a day early. December 17th at 10:55 p.m. as we're recording this, that I think Max Crosby can get traded for T. Higgins and become a Bengal. There you go.
Let's move on because it's already bad enough to be a Bengals fan. Let's talk about something that's good because it's a beautiful thing to be a Broncos fan right now.
Best team in football. What are they going to say? We're underdogs.
What they're saying is that Christian Watson got hurt in the third quarter and so did Micah Parsons. That's what people are saying.
It's funny. It's very cute. Christian Watson was very, very good, but I'm pretty sure Pat Surtain picked that ball off still. And I'm pretty sure that whole third quarter where we ended up tying,
Nix injured Micah Parsons.
Yeah, that's right. And now our field is so bad. Remember that? I heard that.
The field that they've replaced literally 4 times and refused to let high school teams play on anymore. Yeah,
that's better than Lambeau, by the way. Yeah, that field is the reason why those injuries happened. What are they going to say? Like seriously, this team is the best team in football. It's. The question marks were, well, they don't have a quarterback. Bo Nix is proving them wrong. Plain and simple. Look what he's done since the bye week. He has been incredible since the bye week, right? Since the bye week, he's thrown at minimum 2 touchdowns and 200-plus yards. Threw for 4 touchdowns and 300 this past weekend. Against, by the way, a Packers defense that is very good. Like I said, I understand Micah Parsons got injured. He played 3 quarters of that game.
They were about to take the lead back when he was in that game. That drive that they retook the lead on, he started that drive.
Oh, yeah. Like Bo Nix, he may not do it pretty, but my quarterback is a goddamn winner.
And
he is a winner. And
we've also kind of missed the fact that he had Drew Brees for so long that Sean Payton did have to learn what Bo is good at and what he is not good at. And I was giving him a hard time because this is what I expected from him. You should be a guy that can call a play. You should be able to call a perfect game. The game that you call should be able to be ran all the time. And that is what I expect from you because you are the second highest paid coach in the league. You have done a lot and moved football forward. And you had teams that probably should have been in the Super Bowl that weren't. Think back to that Jared Goff going up against the Patriots. That was pass interference in overtime. That should not.
Yeah, the worst non-pass interference call in NFL history.
And they reviewed it.
Yeah, they did. No, I mean, I actually no.
Oh no, that was the reason why they started reviewing them afterwards.
Exactly, that was the reason why they did it. This team is hitting its stride, and there's one big question mark. Obviously, Brandon Jones going down with an injury is huge, right? That's going to hurt this back end. I have faith in PJ Locke. I think they could.
He did very well.
He did very well. I think they could slot Jahdae Barron back there too, and give him a couple looks back there. So I'm not as worried about that. There is one conversation happening every single week with the Denver Broncos and Broncos media. You know what it is.
Go ahead.
Cracker back getting pass interference 3 times a game. It happens every. I'm serious. They have a vendetta against this guy. There is one call in football that is subjective. Holding, you see, tug of the jersey, penalty. Right? Hands in the face, penalty. Right? Tripping, cutting, all that. Not subjective. I saw a couple plays there. I was like, what else is he supposed to do? Matthew Golden made a great play on a catch down the sideline where he hand fought Riley Moss and pushed Riley Moss off too. So are we going to call hand fighting on the offensive pass interference too?
Here's my thing. The touchdown pass that Josh Jacobs caught, that was more pass interference from Dre Greenlaw on that play than what Riley Moss got called for.
Yeah. I'm not calling it. I'm not going to say it because I know a lot of people are thinking it. Oh, why he gets these calls, okay? It's because he's the way he is, okay? That's all I'm going to say. He's albino. Not albino, but you know what I mean. Like, he is, okay? And you're like, this guy can't be that good. But when you're a referee, you're sitting there, you know he's going to – like referees have a play call sheet before every game. They have a scout report, just like players and coaches do. Scout report, this guy's going to do this. This guy's going to do this. You know all the eyes are on Riley Moss being like, he does one small thing. Whoop. Throwing it up. Doesn't, like I said, Pastor Tan probably does the same exact plays. Maybe doesn't have as many dodo pass interference plays as Riley Moss does sometimes. But same hand fighting, same everything, same contact, same everything. Doesn't get called for it because he's Pastor Tan. Right?
If the
Riley Moss does it, it happens. And they throw it.
If the Christian Watson interception was Riley Moss, I believe there's probably a flag.
A flag. Oh, there 100%. There's a flag. It's ball, spot of the foul. First down at the 18-yard line, and Green Bay scores. The game's over. And look, I think Riley Moss has actually been very serviceable. I think he's been very.
He's only given up 1 touchdown this season.
Exactly, but another 15 pass interference called for probably over 1,000 yards. I don't know what the stat is because someone's got the stat. He on all those deep balls and everything. He has surpassed 500 yards of pass interference calls this year, right?
Yeah.
Has to have. I think this team can overcome those things, and like I said, we are on pace to break the sack record still, and we didn't get to Jordan Love till the third quarter. 58 sacks and counting, trying to get, I think it's 64. So that means very doable. 6 in the next 3 games. That's 2 per game. That's very, very doable, especially when you play
the
Chargers and the Chiefs still with 2 banged up teams. So very, 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 very doable. I just sit here and I'm just like, this team is hated on so much because it's a hot commodity and it's new and it's different. Bo Nix got hated on. Drake May. What did Drake May do this past weekend?
He lost a 21
point lead. And you know how many touchdowns he threw?
0.
Goose egg. How many yards
he ran
he throw?
for 2.
How many yards did he throw? 158.
232.
No,
he had 232 yards total.
And gave him a 21-point lead. He turned around, gave Trey Anderson the ball, and said, do the work. You cannot blow a 21-point lead at home. Cannot. And all the slander is still going to Bo Nix, being like, that he's not real. He's not the real deal. Well, Drake May had 1 bad game. He's going to come back next week. Bo Nix has been outperforming Drake May since the bye week. Bo Nix isn't in MVP conversations. I'm not saying Bo Nix is the MVP. I think there are 5-6 more people that could be more deserving. But if you want to give Drake May all this love, just because he's in New England and you have to give Boston fans their love or else they'll come up for the headquarters there in Connecticut. you have to give this bro Nick's love and give him flowers when he does, because he is playing good football and playing the right way. And like I said, my quarterback is a freaking winner. It is so hard to become a winner in the National Football League. We sucked for 8 years after the Super Bowl. 8 years where we couldn't figure out how to build build an identity, build how this team is going to win every single week. It was so difficult to do that. And now this team can't stop winning. Can't stop winning.
They have not they have not lost in longer since it's been Halloween, since it is closer to Christmas. They lost 2 weeks before Halloween even happened.
It's like the last game was the last loss was the Chargers one, where we had to lead in the fourth quarter, and like I'm sitting here, we could be fucking undefeated. We had a fourth quarter lead against the Chargers, and the only leverage penalty called in the NFL this year.
There was one other one. I saw one other one, but it wasn't a game-winning
one.
call.
One of two called in the NFL this year gave the Colts a win. Okay, so give this team the respect they deserve.
They do deserve a lot of respect, even though they're not going to be featured in the pick'em. But you now see the records on the screen. Nico,
it's almost voodoo. I can't pick them, can't change it unless we're playing division rivals. That's it.
Nico's sitting at 48-12. I'm sitting at a 43-16-1 record. Winner takes it. Make it take it. So go ahead, run down your list first.
Like I said, I want some hot ones here. Bills over Browns. That's pretty easy. I don't need to sugarcoat that. I think the Bills can still win the division. Okay, I still think that's very, very much in the air still. I want Houston over the Raiders. I pray for Kenny Pickett's life. They already benched Geno. This Will Anderson and who's the other pass rusher?
Danielle Hunter.
I feel this Raiders offensive line is having nightmares as we speak. Okay, they will be running.
I'm having nightmares over the Houston defensive line. I don't even play football. I haven't played football in over a decade.
I worry for Kenny Pickett, and they can't throw Geno Smith out there because he's going to get injured within the first 5 snaps of the game. I went against you.
I know.
First time this season, I'm picking Green Bay over Chicago. They're in Chicago, is that right? Or are they in Green Bay? I can't.
They are in Green Bay.
So there adds another layer to this. I still think Green Bay is such a damn good football team. Watching that game last week, I think Jordan Love is a star. I was so impressed with how well he played, and so impressed of how
they're in Chicago. Excuse me.
Okay. It's basically Lambeau too. I'm fight me, Chicago fans, but it's
a Saturday game, so if that changes things.
Jeez Louise. Okay, didn't even know that. No, we're doing that now because I forgot we're in December, so you have to start doing those games. I will take Green Bay over. Like I said, I like Jake Jacobs a lot. Jordan Love really showed me a lot. I was sitting there, I was like, damn, that was a good throw. Damn, that was a good play. Just over and over and over again, watching Jordan Love play, and I don't think the Bears are that much better than the Packers to beat them twice in a row.
Well, the Packers won the last time.
Oh, shoot, they did. Oh, crap. Well, scratch that entire. So, back replay. I think the Packers are good enough to beat the Bears twice in a row. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, just click the Men in Black click thing. You didn't hear any of that. You didn't hear any of that. So I'll go with that. And then, just to top it all off, a game that I took a flyer on because I can. I have a 4.5 game lead. So even if I go 0-4, you go 4-0, I still have a half game lead here. I'll take the Ravens or the Patriots. I think the Broncos lock up the 1 seed this week. I'll say it. The Broncos lock up the 1 seed this week. We beat Jacksonville. Patriots lose the Ravens, and we have a 3-game lead over the next best team in the AFC, and then all we have to worry about is the Chargers behind us. If we win 2 out of the last 3 games, and we're in, and we're the number 1 team. That's where I'm sitting at, and I think that'll happen. I think Baltimore's fighting for the lives right now, trying to win their division and trying to have playoff hopes. I'll take Baltimore over New England.
And when you said you think Buffalo has a chance of winning the division, that also has to happen. So if all of your games work out, if you go 4-0. Obviously, you'll get another game up on me because we have that Chicago-Green Bay matchup. But that would be huge for not just the playoff standings, but the pickup standings. I have So I put my faith in Giants last week, and they bit me in the ass. So I'm not putting my faith in them. And Jaden McCarthy has looked much better than he did going into his soft benching / concussion.
I need him. I need him so bad to cook this week.
Not necessarily for your fantasy team, but I do want him to win so that I keep my record going as a pick'em. I do think that even though they're eliminated, like they need to. Jaden McCarthy is playing for his job, because if he doesn't play well, Vikings fans are ready to ship him out, and they'll be on the quarterback market and possibly trying to move up and things like that. Kevin O'Connell is a good coach. I will put faith in him over a team that has no coach, no direction, and starting Jackson Dart at quarterback, who is going to bash his head into the wall and probably get knocked out with a concussion 3 or 4 series into the game. Not wishing an injury on anybody, but that's just the way he plays. I have in the NFC East, the Eagles. They're going to get back off the schneid and beat the Commanders. They got an easy win over the Raiders. They were saying, why'd you leave your starters in for so long? The Raiders didn't even have their starters in. Those were our starters. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'm so sorry. My bad. My fault.
That's my fault. I do think that the Commanders gave their best shot to the Broncos, and after that, the Giants is a toss-up, but the Eagles are much better than the Giants. The defense is not going to allow 20 or more points against the Commanders team. The reason why I'm going with the Bears is because it's dumb Micah Parsons' injury. If Caleb Williams is flustered, and he's even starting to learn this a little bit, because I don't know if you saw that highlight. I'm not going to put it. It's a regular season game. It is not the catch, but it looks pretty similar. And that was on the run. That was under pressure. That was under duress. I don't know if Rashawn Gary's good enough to put Caleb Williams under enough pressure to win.
I don't think he is either, but I think the other factors into why that game. Look at the 360 we've done, or you've done on Caleb Williams. Is all I'm going to say. You're right about a lot of things. Caleb Williams thing.
I can't fight what's going on the field. He's doing
much
better with a much better head coach, by the way. Nagy to Ben Johnson is like a Lamborghini to a Honda.
Yeah, Ben Johnson and Sean Payton and Mike Vrabel are probably the top 3 in head coach of the year standings, and I think it's very well deserved.
Yes. No, and my last one, and another guy that I did a full 360 on, and a team too, because the Saints are winning football games.
They should not be doing that. Is all I'm going to say. They should not be doing this.
Maybe they're going to keep Shook, and I've said it a couple times. Like he's learning how to play. He's going to be a backup he's going to have a 15-year career,
old, isn't he? He's 25 years old. He's 25 years old. I know he's 25 years old.
He's probably 25, but he's not 28. Let's see.
You're right. 28 is Brandon Whedon age. When he came out, I almost positive he's older than Bo Nix.
26. He's born in 99.
I'm just saying.
He's as old as your brother. What are you talking about?
No.
He's as old as my sister.
He's in between. Okay, we're not 30.
He's as old as my sister.
I was gonna say, we're not 30 yet. Okay, easy on that front. Okay, easy on that front.
It feels like I'm 30 sometimes. Coming out of these wrestling practices, it feels that way. But I do think the Jets. They're not gonna fire.
Are they starting Brady Cook? Or are they starting
Brett Rippon? Remember, it's Rippon.
I thought it was Brady. No, Rippon was.
No, Rippon was on the Bengals. He's been picked up by the Jets again.
I thought it was someone else that picked him up.
All right, now you got me Googling again.
Oh my
gosh. Who is the Jets? It doesn't even matter. I didn't even know.
Let me see who Brett Rippon's team is while you're doing that. I know it was Brady Cook for that.
It is Brady Cook, yeah.
What team is Brett?
They also have Adrian Martinez, so it's Brady Cook being backed up by Adrian Martinez, Nebraska legend.
Oh, you know who Brett Rippon's team is on? We talked about it all last week. The Colts.
I was gonna say, yeah,
the Colts.
Yeah.
That was with old granddad Philip Rivers.
Well, he's third string. Riley Leonard is the backup.
I know. Dare I say Rivers didn't look that bad?
He did what he has to do. It's not that he's physically better than Riley Leonard. It's that mentally Shane Steichen knows he can trust. He's like, oh, I got Grandpa in the huddle. Everybody's gonna do the right thing.
He almost won that game too. That was almost a one. Both you and I lost almost.
60-yard field goal.
Jacob Myers.
So running down our list quickly, you have the Bills over the Browns, Texans over the Raiders, Packers over the Bears, and the Ravens over the Patriots. I have the Vikings over the Giants, the Eagles over the Commanders, the Bears over the Packers, and the Saints taking down the Jets. We'll see if there's any movement. There's going to be movement no matter
I opened the window. Is all I'm gonna say.
We needed it. We needed the drama. We know that we picked all chalk in the college football playoffs, so we need drama somewhere, and hopefully it's going to come from our pick'em, and we appreciate everybody who's been. This is the 6th NFL season that we've done a pick'em for, by the way, and I'm 1-4.
You had a great win. We'll never forget that. I was horrible that year. You're so good.
Sometimes sun shines on a dog's ass twice a day. Let's get to the best that we have of this week. I'm going to start things off because I picked them. The Bears defense. It's not the 85 Bears. It's not the Bears with Brian Urlacher. I think that this defense is the better defense going up in this matchup, and they killed my fantasy. Killed me. If Shador wouldn't...
Funny enough, they didn't have a turnover, which I looked up the stats.
3.
It was weird. Did I
Shador had 3 picks.
Okay, then ESPN was lying to me. Is all I'm going to say. So that's on me.
I'm almost positive that was the reason because Shador had 3 points total.
I know. I thought it was all the.
Let's see.
Sacks. Where the hell?
3 interceptions. Yep.
Oh, I'm stupid. Yep, I'm stupid.
18 to 35,
I was looking at the wrong
177.
one. I was looking at the wrong one. When I saw 3 turnovers, I thought that was 3 turnovers caused by the Browns. That's on me. Yep, that's on me.
It was
hand up accountability. That's on me.
That was the reason why. The Bears defense is nowhere near the Texans or the Broncos. Like, don't get me wrong, but the Bears defense did everything to me. It was almost as bad as when I had Jake Browning starting against the Vikings. That's how terrible it was.
Yeah, not great. I've been riding the Bo Leave train. I'll ride it another week. 23 for 34, 302 yards, 4 tutties, 134.7 rating.
Some of those throws, that touchdown to Lil Jordan Humphrey, we didn't talk about that throw. That was pinpoint. He's not getting lucky with wide open receivers in the end zone. He is putting the ball where it needs to be to score.
Get this man Jalen Waddle. Get this man Justin. Get this man a true elite number 1, and this team is winning this damn Super Bowl every year. Like we can do special things with Bo Nix if we get him a true one.
They're the overdogs. They're not the underdogs. They're the overdogs. And guess what? Bo's mom believes we can win, so you better believe we can win.
Believe. Make sure you say it correct. Believe we can win.
Believe in man. Let's do the worst. What Connect doing? Because I'm way behind on hockey. I've been.
Quinn Hughes got traded
to New Jersey, right, with his brothers.
Nope, to Minnesota. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Quinn Hughes is the Minnesota Wild. Yeah, I know. In terms of news, it's not very newsworthy. The Canucks have been a disaster, and they just traded the captain and franchise player to Minnesota. By the way, the 3 best teams in hockey all reside in the. Are we in the Central? Is that where we're
Central? Yeah,
Central? We're all reside in Central. 3 top point scoring teams: the Wild, Stars, and Colorado Avalanche. All reside in Central. Thank you, NHL, for this horrible playoff format.
It's the best thing that we can do if we're gonna. Because right now it looks like there's no way we're not gonna win the President's Trophy. If we win the President's Trophy, having to outdo the other 2 teams in our division that are only 2 and 3 points behind us, I guess I'm okay with that. I guess we'll have to deal with that.
As long as like I said, we don't want to play either of them in the first round. Let's
no,
be
we
smart.
Hope to God it's somebody out of the Pacific. Please, please let it be Edmonton.
Yeah, but Edmonton, by the way, also made a deal. Stu Skinner's gone. Tristan Jarry, the Pittsburgh Penguins traded him to Edmonton. I know it's trade season. Trade season minus Giannis is getting traded. The Knicks, by the way, are NBA Cup champions. Congratulations, New York! You raised the banner. By the way, Oklahoma City didn't even make the final. Fun fact. Some are saying they're beatable. That's all I'm gonna say. But they're sleeping on us. But yeah, the Canucks are my bench over the week. Quinn Hughes, American-born. Happy he's playing back in the States because he's going to be representing the U.S. Come January. Don't worry, I'm wearing the Miracle on Ice hat. We will be covering. I will make Jimmy sit. After college football season, I am going to make Jimmy sit here and watch Olympic hockey till his eyes bleed. Okay, and we will be covering every second.
I'll be making sure that I'm on the Spit and Chicklets because that's my NHL knowledge. But yeah, I'll be watching the highlights I'll have John Cena on my phone with his old 2007 run, and I'll have the Olympics and who's going to be on team. Oh, mama, don't you cry. I get it. I know.
Playing Freebird at the top of your lungs, Aerosmith, Dream On, just give me it all. Just make me run through a brick wall right now.
I'm ready to cheer for the Kachuk brothers again. I've made that decision with myself. I'm ready for that.
And Jack Eichel, also a fun player.
Yeah. Austin, yeah.
Hellbuck too. Hellbuck. Ottinger.
Ottinger, yes. Ottinger, yes. Not Hellebuck. No.
Fair.
My bench warmer of the week is the man that we talked about for a little bit here, Joe Burrow. He was asked, do you think about your future playing with this team? You think about a lot of things.
I can't believe
that's not an answer.
I just cannot believe it.
That's not an answer, but also you just got shut out by the Baltimore Ravens.
Which Ravens defense is not very good either on top
No,
of that.
it's a team that you put up 34 against on Christmas Eve, or not Christmas Eve, Thanksgiving,
yeah.
And your defense had 5 turnovers, and you turn around and get blown out 24-0.
Which, by the way, nothing really changed in between those two games outside a couple weeks. It's not like just crazy.
It's exactly what we're talking about with the Bears and Packers. Like, you had one game in between your division rivalry matchup, but it's embarrassing. It is truly embarrassing. At least we didn't lose to the Browns yet. That's still upcoming. We have one more matchup against them, and I don't know if I want Burrow to play against Myles Garrett when he's trying to possibly go for the individual sack record.
No.
Throw Browning out there. I'd rather Myles Garrett.
Is that the last game of the year?
I believe it is. It's the Week 18 game.
Will Joey B do Brett Favre?
If it comes down to that situation, you might as well.
I guess you don't get hurt. It's not necessarily so he gets a record so he doesn't get hurt.
Because that's he's watched that highlight of Strahan getting the record against Favre. He's like, I don't want that.
I don't think anyone wants that record broken more than that one guy who had it before him. Was the Eagles guy? What was the guy?
No, Giants. They're Jets guy. Jets guy. It was Jets. I don't know his name, but he was part of the New York Sack Exchange. I know that.
Yeah. So
he's also nuts. He's knucking futz. So
yeah, he has some hot takes on it all.
If you think we say some dumb stuff, if you want to put hashtag you'll get a kick out of this. The hashtag last week was make mics more expensive, and my reply was, we already have our microphones.
That's a great joke. It's a great joke. I don't know where I know, and now you're muted. Exactly. Funny enough. There it is.
I can't.
That's so good.
It made me not be able to hear anything, so that'll be fun.
So funny.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Oh, there you are.
There we go.
There we go. Just technical issues an hour in. That's all. There we go. As Jimmy's figuring it out. But yeah, thank you all for listening. We've been 2 hours. Sorry, we went 45 minutes. I got you. I heard you.
Yeah, no, you guys can hear me. I can't hear. I got to go through my thing. It's late.
It's late.
My microphone and my headphones get.
We're doing far to the bench after dark again. Apparently, here we go. Except we're not live. Like I said, thank you all for listening. Another great week. Sorry, we ranted for 45 minutes about John Cena. He is the thumbnail. I'm sorry. He's one of the biggest stars in sports right now. Sorry about it. We talked about a lot of other things. We got. Like I said, I don't care enough about the NBA Cup, the most prestigious sport or cup in sports, to talk about it for a full segment. But we had to cover it all. We had to get it all going. So
make sure everybody subscribes, follow at FBOTB Pod. 260 episodes down, 5+ years of content. So we got everything that you could want, and playoffs coming up. You're going to want to, Nico, this will be the first time that we get post-game Broncos shows. I'm going to force you to that because we need to do post-game Broncos playoff shows. And
I wouldn't be opposed. It won't. I wouldn't be. Like I said, it's going to be work dependent. But I'd be down.
And if you can't make it, I'll make sure that I do one on the day, and then we'll make sure that we get another one because the playoffs we'll do lives. We did Avalanche Cup run. We've done a Nuggets NBA championship run. It would be something if we got the 3 major sports done within 5 years. That's
a heck of a run.
It sounds to me like a dynasty.
I know. We are the best sports city in America. I don't think that's even a hot conversation right now. We have the number 1 team in the NFL. We have the number 1 team in hockey. We have a top 5 team in basketball. No one has 2 top teams right now across the 3 major sports playing right now.
Yep.
We Penn State think we are the best. It's incredible. We are so unbelievably spoiled.
DU has to win another NCAA hockey championship so that we have some college sports to root for, because college sports, professional sports wise, yes, Colorado is number 1. Make sure everybody's following, subscribed. Episode 260 for myself, Jimmy Pilato, my co-host Nico Bryant. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.
If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.